Hi, and welcome to a new Plugin Guru video. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome. This is a free production video. I'm going to show you a demo that I wrote yesterday for my new patch library and sample library called Percussa. Percussa is cinematic orchestral percussion. But it's made synthesis. It's not like samples of big kettle drums and stuff. It's combined. It's unique. It's got a unique sound to it. And I'll take you through everything that's used in this demo after the demo. I want you to hear it first. But just to point out quickly, this is one Omnisphere, and then these are bounced out audio pieces that I've done some manipulating with filter and EQ. This is one Omnisphere, which is why the dashes are over here. It's playing two different groove type element things that are used, as well as two synthesizer sounds from my Omniverse 2 patch library. The kettle kit is a new drum kit. Version 1.1 of Percussa I released today with this video. And it comes with now kits for every one of the 47 grooves and a bonus kit that I used to do this demo. I'm including this kit for free. And then I'm using from Contact 5 the Grandeur piano, but I have a special preset I've created, and I'll show you that in a minute, to make it this warm, more cinema-esque. Yeah. And then there's orchestral trombones. But they have a cool trick I'll show you after the demo. And then Symphobia strings. And they're EQ'd fairly bright to cut. So I'll show you all that stuff after the demo. Kill the microphone, and this is Rising Threat. Please enjoy. I love all the delays playing, interacting at the end. Okay, so that is Rising Threat. It's basically started with this multi in Omnisphere that I really love very, very much. And I've had a number of people tell me they're already using it in film cues. It's really funny. They're already using it. Right here. One note. And it's playing these 4 parts. The bass drum, and then part 2 is toms on the mod wheel, and they're going into a really cool effect. check this out. We'll do a whole demo of all this stuff. So on this here, there's the inner space going into a delay after it. So whatever inner space is going to do, it's going to get fed into these delays. I'm using the delay times 3, which is 3 nice long delays that are panning in stereo. And the inner space is doing this. Oh, I got it. All right. It's using a glitch, and here's without it. So all that wiggly fun stuff. And I have it at 50%, so some of the attack transient is not taken away. It's not 100% wet. That way the delay has something to interact with. So I use that, and then like for a film cue, you need to have like variations where it's not all this. So I just soloed out part 3, and I actually went in and I muted the big boomer, and then I had it play with the right. So if you listen at the very beginning, you hear that here, but I have an EQ on it, and I have automated. Watch this here. This is the frequency. Oh, let's solo it so you can just hear it by itself. So it starts dark. Hit automation. So it's like coming up out of the fog. And then down here, I have it running where it has an echo on it so that it can, when it hits these parts where it stops, it has just a little bit of echo to it. I didn't need that on the ones with the filtering. I didn't want it to be filtered and echoed. So I have 2 separate audio tracks doing that part at different points in the groove. And then we get to, there's in the first time through the melody, there's a, the second time through, it got really big with the brass and strings and stuff, so I didn't need this. But this is the bangers. This is a patch. And then later on, the second time through the part, when it gets nice and big, there's this really cool and you hear it just some ear candy stuff. You're like, that's different every time, right? So that's the it's just a, it's normally just a hit, right? But Airwave made this, and if we look at part 2, it's a hit with FM synthesis on it, and the modulator to the wheel is FM frequency. So that means this frequency, which is really slow, you don't hear, but right? So all he has, let's go show modulation to the wheel. It's a very small range. He's not using the upper range. He's got it just very minimally. 0.035. So that's not much range. But that allows you to use the mod wheel to get cool variations on the speed of that. So that's happening. The opening of the song starts with Mad Mordor, which is one of my patches that a lot of people really enjoy. It's very cinemas. I keep saying that word wrong, cinema-esque. And the mod wheel does a really cool thing because this is going 100% reverb. So that's just giving you ear candy throughout. There's a part right here in the middle that's really cool. I'm going to play the whole part so you can hear it because it's really cool what happens. Watch right here. It starts really soft. And there's volume and there's mod wheel. So that is a patch called Fluttering Dreamer, which is this really lovely pad. And the mod wheel just makes it fall apart. So between those two elements, I have a cool thing happening. It starts really soft. And as it gets louder in volume, it's getting distorted, and then it immediately goes away. So it's making like a transition effect without being a transition effect, just by automation. So when that plays, here it comes. It was a cool lead in. I thought it was kind of fun. So that's happening. Now the kit. This is all the fun stuff. This was fun to do. This is playing all this is just this kit. So if we have this banger part play, and then we combine that, that's a nice little voop. And then you add so that's all percussa between a kit, a patch, and a multi playing 4 patches. And using the mod wheel to change things, right? Gotta have those delicate moments. And then here's where that noise synth comes in. Let's start this part again, right here. Hear that variation with the snare. Just playing the mod wheel. Okay. And then the final touches were the you got to have instruments. It can't. I mean, I'd love it to just be drums all by itself, but Contact 5, the grandeur is this piano, and by default it sounds like. Well, let me turn off my EQ I have and my reverb so that it's a. Oh, it's loading. Please wait while it loads lots of memory. Normally it sounds like this. Nice and bright. But you can set it up with the tone and other parameters to be soft. And so that's what I did to make it. You guys might not realize, but all of these, even the Giant, the Maverick, Grandeur, the Gentleman, all 4 of these pianos are really flexible. Using lots of space, I'm using a compressor, I'm using different settings to make this happen. It's set the compressor on 100% soft, you know. So each one of these little tabs open up additional windows where you can control additional settings to change the piano. So that's the piano part, and I just played this live to start the whole thing. I had this chord progression in my mind that I've been working on. I just played it right. Nice and simple. You don't want to be playing busy parts all the time, especially if you're going to have elements. because this way I can build around it. If this is a really busy part, then you can't add anything else. But in order to, the brass, I want to show the brass are really cool. Because these guys are typically really bright when you call these up in their preset. And I have a high pass filter in the Cambridge, just killing everything in the brass and the strings below, what did I set it at? About 100 hertz. So that way all my sub kicks and stuff aren't messing up with the low energy of rosin strings and brass, because I just didn't want that. So I open up this guy and I added the low pass filter right here. Because it's normally, automation keeps wanting to call it. Turn off automation for a second so I can. So it sounds kind of synthetic, but with the drums that I have, since I'm not going for a legit, I'm not a film composer, I'm trying to go for a certain vibe, and these drums are kind of a synthetic but real drum in nature, so it made sense to have a filtering effect. So if I turn on automation, let's play part of this. Listen to these brass, what they're doing. It's kind of cool. See all my automation here? And I just did it by clicking and dragging. So if we start right here. But when you put that with a piano, now I could clean that up and make it so you didn't hear the sweep downs and stuff, but this is a quick demo to show what my library does, and I wasn't worrying about it. So then here's the strings. And I EQ'd these without this EQ. And I added EQ inside of Symphobia. Shrink this. Let's see, can I buy? This is without any EQ. So it's nice and natural and pretty. But I added EQ here. And then, because I want the mid and high frequencies to be what you hear, I don't want them to take up the low energy, or else they're going to get muddy with the drums, because the drums are the star of the show. Everybody else is kind of supporting the drums. So it's the warpath, man. So that's the demo. I want to point out also really quickly that Percussa 1.1, the update, also has a cool thing that it comes with, in that if you go to the ARP, make this so you can see because it's at the bottom of the list. I've discovered, I don't know why I didn't check this before, the folders can be nested. So the Percussa folder for the ARPs have all these ARP patterns now included. The Percussa starters are the same starters as OMG. If you want to, you can make an OMG folder if you have OMG. I'm going to fix it so when you download OMG, it shows up with the ARP patterns like this. It used to be the sprawling list of starters, and then all these things that are here were all in this list. But now, so Percussa starters, these, the place that they go, just so we're clear, because people ask me this all the time, you need to know where your Steam folder is. It all comes down to finding your Steam folder, because this is a manual install. Go to Omnisphere, to presets, to user. And here's where you put my support presets, whether it's for the arpeggiator. This is where you would put your Percussa. Just drag it over arpeggiator and put it in there. The effects is where you go down to the racks, and that's where you can put the rack presets that I've created for the different libraries. The distortion guitars, those come only right now with Mega Magic Guitars Part 2. Granularity, there's presets for Creaturesque. When you have the Creaturesque library that you've bought, you get all these cool granular presets. They go here. And envelope. This is where the Plugin Guru envelope presets go. So once you know where your Steam folder is, this is where you put the support files. Okay? That's it. So I hope you enjoyed this production video. I hope this gave you ideas. Remember, simple ideas. You don't have to play everything with one sound. It's more fun to spread the love around a handful of sounds and let things, you know, stick out. And then mixing and producing. Oh, and then the last things I did, there's a Bax EQ just to hit like 20 and below high pass filtering on the master. And then you have to have a limiter. No matter what you do, a really great limiter, if you don't have universal audio stuff, is the one that's created by the Fab Filter guys. The Pro L is just a great, you can bring up the energy like big time, and it still keeps it from hitting overdrive. So the last thing, no matter what you do beforehand in your effect chain, you should have a limiter at the very end, the very last step. And that way you don't overdrive, you don't distort, bring up the body of your mix. The L1 from Waves is another great one that has been a standard for many, many years. All right, so I hope this helps. Keep inspired. If you need inspiration, come see me. PluginGuru.com. Thank you. See you later.